Year 71, the year of the Third Great Galactic Reach. Mankind began an exploration of the cosmos, and the construction of the Dyson Sphere increased the colonization of space, housing 70% of the people on Earth. A dropship carrying transfer students from Sakimori Academy lands on board. The students show extraordinary power as they massacre an entire team. Haruto is seen having an eating competition that will decide whose team gets to use the field, which he loses to Shoko, his classmate he secretly has a crush on. At the break time, the Sakimori student infiltrate the school but try to keep interactions at a minimum, and one of them, Elf, gets irritated about Haruto's optimism and confronts Haruto. Haruto is about to confess his feelings for Shoko when war aircraft invade the Dyson Sphere, causing a pandemonium in the city. The science laboratory is invaded by the Sakimori student who seeks to possess the Valvrave. Shoko gets shot by a blast from an aircraft and dies. Haruto vows to get revenge and enters Valvrave with no idea how to control the robot. The enemy ship spots the Valvrave robot while Haruto struggles to control it. Haruto makes the ultimate choice to lose his humanity to get revenge for Shoko and bonds with Valvrave. Valvrave's power proves superior in battle, destroying the enemies, and the city celebrates Haruto's victory. While Haruto mourns Shoko, Elf ambushes and stabs him. The scene ends with Haruto getting a counter with a bite on Elf's neck. Two boys pass out by the beach, but only Elf awakes and saves Haruto's friends from the pretend Sakimori students. After they get away, Elf tells Haruto's friends that he's actually Haruto, but doesn't know how he got into Elf's body. His plan is to get back the Valvrave robot and eliminate the Dorsian enemies. The city is under siege after the government of JOIR surrenders to the Dorsian Empire. They take Valvrave and Haruto's unconscious body hostage. Meanwhile, Elf is now considered a fugitive and traitor to the Dorsian Empire. Elf sneaks into the Dorsian base, swaps back to his original body, and gains control of Valvrave. Haruto battles the Dorsian army in space when Elf realizes he's inexperienced with using Valvrave and takes Rukino hostage. Haruto receives an unexpected call from Shoko, who happens to be alive and was caught under the landslide. Elf gets a change of heart and gives Haruto a tip to win the battle, making the Dorsian army retreat. Haruto and Shoko's relationship is left at a standstill, now that Haruto considers himself a monster. Aris, a neighboring country, aids JOIR in curtailing the effects of the attack. Elf is taken into custody and interrogated by Aris, but all they got from him are riddles. Back at Aris camp, Haruto begins to suffer side effects, and his friends consider reporting to the authorities. Senator Figaro uses Haruto's influence to evacuate the people of JOIR. Elf, popularly known as the one-man army to the Aris, escapes custody and single-handedly takes out their army. The riddle Elf relays during the interrogation plays out one after the other, and Elf offers Haruto a deal to take down the Dorsian army together. Shoko runs into the secret girl that exposes Haruto on the internet. In the next episode, it is revealed that there is a tussle for power between three governments as Aris plans to steal JOIR's secret weapon for themselves. Shoko finds the girl responsible for unveiling Haruto on the internet, an anonymous hacker who has been hiding on the school's premises. Shoko reports to the student council after overhearing Aris's plan to abandon the students and steal Valvrave. Haruto is free from Figaro's men, and he reveals the truth about the evacuation to everyone. Figaro unveils his true colors and releases gunfire on the students. The students are at a dead end when there are no means to escape the Dorsian army nor trust the Aris. In the end, they decide to liberate and act out as a state of their own with the lore of Valvrave on their side. 1 week after the students' declaration of independence, things are finally getting back into shape. Also with Haruto and Shoko's friendship, while the Dorsian Empire continues grouping and Aris fears losing to mere children. Power goes off at Module 77, causing a blackout. The students gather around as means of heat when it gets cold while the others go to fix the lights. When the power comes on, the students upload videos on the internet showing the world they are doing well. Haruto and Rukino go scouting and find other robots like Valvrave. In return for Rukino's keeping this a secret, she steals a kiss from Haruto. Elf finds robots like Valvrave hidden below the school and concludes the school was a part of the mission all along. Rukino comes in possession of her own robot by giving up her humanity and swaps bodies with Haruto to mess around. An emergency alarm goes off when the Dorsian army begins another attack. Figaro dies after his spaceship is shot by an enemy aircraft while Rukino steps into battle with her new robot. With everyone's cheers, Rukino gets the upper hand in the battle and the Dorsian Empire retreats. Haruto reveals the existence of the other robots to the Students' Council, and an agreement was made to put him in charge of the Valvraves. Students show interest in piloting Valvraves, but Haruto declines this, keeping the secret of the loss of humanity of Valvrave users. Shoko rejects L-Elf's proposal to enact military rule, and L-Elf has no other choice but to siege the school. L-Elf's former teammates and Dorsian army infiltrate the school, and a gruesome battle begins, leaving Rukino's engines hijacked and Haruto severely injured. L-Elf offers to switch bodies with Haruto and give him tips on how to defeat the Dorsian troops. Unfortunately, Aina doesn't escape the blast from the Dorsian Empire. Her body is later found floating in space, and this causes distress in the school. Aina's death and the Dorsian army's attack takes a toll on the students. Some of them even volunteer to pilot a Valvrave to get revenge. Things seem to play according to the Dorsian Empire's wishes. Meanwhile, back at Module 77, L-Elf tells the students that they have less than 24 hours till their city crumbles. Haruto and Rukino are sent to the forefront to battle enemy ships when the Dorsian army sneaks in to take custody of their island. While everyone is on heat, L-Elf brings up an offer to save everyone if Haruto accepts his deal, and Haruto does so, saying he trusts L-Elf. L-Elf recalls a sweet memory while he floats in space after a battle. Days later, after the previous attack, the students undergo military training in preparation for future battles, supervised by L-Elf, who is now accepted as a team member. The next Dorsian attack begins, and they put their plan to place, pulling the Valvraves away from Module 77 and launching a sneak attack. Module 77 suffers great damage, which leads to a blackout. Inuzuka discards his plans for revenge and decides to fight for himself. He chooses to lose his humanity despite the odds and gain control of a Valvrave. At the climax of the Dorsian army's attack, Inuzuka's Valvrave counters the attack, while Yamada's Valvrave takes out the enemy fleet, saving the day. Later, L-Elf confronts Mr. Takumi, the teacher who reveals the truth about Module 77 being a benchmark for Valvrave's creation. That's why only the students can ride it. Haruto, Rukino, Inuzuka, and Yamada team up to keep the secret about the loss of humanity by Valvrave users, while Shoko secretly meets with Akira, the girl who lives undercover in the school. The students take a trip to the moon to render them neutral to attacks, and they decide to elect a prime minister for their country to officially govern the country. Amongst the candidates are Nanami, Yamada, Takahi, and Satomi. Haruto finds out that Shoko's father, the former prime minister of JOIR, may be in danger and promises to save him. This makes Shoko happy and willing to run for the position of prime minister. That night, when Haruto loses control, he spends the night with Rukino. Shoko wins the election while other candidates are given minister positions. Things get awkward between Haruto and Rukino when they try to talk things out. They get interrupted by an enemy attack. The Dorsian army intercepts Module 77's path, and they are forced to clear the path with Haruto's special blade. L-Elf leads the team, while Shoko makes a difficult decision, sacrificing her father, who's held captive by the Dorsian Empire. Haruto, before going to save everyone, asks Rukino to be his wife. The Dorsian army counterattacked by drilling their way through Module 77 and invading with poisonous gas. Things turn sour for the new JOIR country as they face attack with no way of escaping on every side. Shoko collapses on her way to save Akira before the blade reaches her. Akira, for the first time in years, faces her fears and steps out of her hidden corner to save her friend. She runs into a Valvrave and sacrifices her humanity to save Shoko and stop the drill from entering the school. L-Elf meets one-on-one with his master Kane, also the leader of the Dorsian fleet. In the face-off between L-Elf and Kane, not only does Kane emanate extraordinary powers, he pilots a broken Valvrave robot. It is then revealed that Kane is not human. We've come to the end of this recap. Share your thoughts in the comments section down below. Let us know what you think of this recap. Feel free to also drop an anime that you want me to cover in a similar format. I'll go through your suggestions and even give you a mention when I get to the anime you suggested. A sincere like and subscribe can go a long way for your karma, just saying. Very well then, with that said, I'll see you guys in my next video.